Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Macy. Today's class is all about this beautiful gown that you are seeing up here. It's going to be the cutting and the sewing version of it. Please guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe. Subscription is free. Okay, so if this tutorial is what you are interested in, keep on watching. So I am making use of this fabric. The name of the fabric that I'm using is Mikano fabric, and it's a little bit thick. It's not that light, it's thick. Okay, and it's 2.5 yards of fabric. If you are making for a plus size, you will make use of 3 yards by 60. I'll start by folding it into two to cut the front. And remember, this style has a gather at the down part, so I'll be removing 10 inches for the gather on the down part of this dress. The remaining length I'll be cutting out. So I'll be starting the front first. I'll cut out the front first. Okay, I'll be folding my fabric into two as you can see, and here will be my starting point. I'll mark my shoulder 16 divided by 2 8 plus ½ inch seam allowance. I'll mark them. Then from the shoulder I'm going to get my bust 10 and under bust 13, the half length, my waistline, which is 16, and my hip line 25. Okay, from there I'm going to get the full length, the remaining length, not like it's all the length, which is going to be about 28. I will mark it there. I'll be ruling all the lines. I'll be adding my neck depth, which is 3.5 inches, and the neck width 3.5 inches, and the depth is going to be 4 inches. I will use my hand and connect it, then use my ruler to curve out the neckline. Then I am going to make my shoulder slant. I'll come down by 1 inch and go up from the bust, go up with 2 inches to get my chest line. On that place I will rule it with my ruler. Then I'm going to divide my bust into two. But before that, I'm going to mark my armhole line, as you can see up there. Then I'll divide whatever that is remaining on the armhole by 2. I'll mark. But before marking, I will go in with 0.7 inches for the front. To avoid excess on the armhole. Then I'll curve it out. Note that this dress doesn't have a dart, so I'll be inserting my bust measurement divided by 4. I'll put it down. Then plus 2 inches seam allowance. You can make use of 1.5 inches. Then I'll put my under bust divided by 4 plus seam allowance, the waist divided by 4 plus seam allowance. Then on the down part, I'm going to be adding my hip measurement on it. My hip measurement, I'll be adding my hip measurement on it. When you divide your hip measurement by 4, you add it there. Then you add about extra 2 inches. But if you want that down part to be like extra free, you can add 4 inches to your hip allowance, divide it by 4, then you put it there and add 1.5 inches. But I make use of my hip measurement there and add extra 2 inches allowance. Okay, then I'll use my ruler to connect all the lines. I felt like the 2 inches I added is too much. Then I now remove like half an inch to it. But mind you, don't remove anything so that to avoid to be on a safer side. Okay. Then the neck depth for the back is going to be 1.5 inches. But the width still remains the same, 3.5. I'll mark my shoulder slant. I'll connect it. Then I'll cut out. I'm going to use this front to cut the back. The only difference here from the back and the front is the zipper allowance. So I'll be making use of the front to cut out the back. You can see I've placed my front on top of the fabric I folded to cut out the back, and here is the zipper allowance. Then I'll be doing my zip tightening. I always do that. On the waistline, you go in by 0.5 inches. Then you use your ruler to slightly connect it up and down, upwards and downwards. That is to avoid zip bugging. Okay. If you have been following my tutorials, I don't joke with my zip tightening. It's very, very important. Then I'll connect the neck depth. After that, I'll cut. So guys, I'm done cutting both the up front and the back. So here is the back, and this is the front beside it. I'll cut the neck. So I'm done with the back and the front. As you can see the front here. So I am going to be cutting the down part, which is the gather. You are going to, like, this front is on fold. Calculate it, measure it out to know how many it is. Okay, then you multiply it by 2 or 3. If you measure the down part, you know how many it is. If it is 36, you multiply it by 2 or 3, depending how fuller you want your gather to be. So I multiply mine by 2. All right, then the length is going to be 10, but I'll be adding 2 inches for it for the hemming allowance. I am going to be cutting two of these. I'll measure the length then and cut out the length of what I needed. That will be able for me to make a full gather. So before that, I am going to be cutting out the sleeve first. This is the sleeve that I'm cutting. Remember that this sleeve style has three layers. The first one is the normal sleeve, the second one and third layer is the gathering part of it. So I'll be cutting out the first upper sleeve first, which is the normal one, and it's going to be about 6 inches. All right, so that is what I am cutting out. I'm using the easiest method of cutting a sleeve to cut it out, as you can see me doing there. I'm just carving out the armhole. The sleeve is going to be 3/4 sleeve. The length is going to be about 12 or 13 inches by length. So I'm cutting out the first normal sleeve out. Make sure you notch your center area. After cutting that, I'm going to cut out the second and the third. Remember, the second and the third is gathered. Okay, so measure out your round sleeve, like your upper round sleeve. Okay, multiply it again by 3 or by 2, depending how enough your fabric is. All right, multiply it by 2 for the gathering part. Then you just cut a straight fabric out, and the length is going to be 5.5, sorry, 5 inches plus half inches for the joining down part and the half inches again for the joining upper part, making 6 inches. That is total of 12. The first one is 6, the second one is 6, and the third one is going to be 6 as well. After joining everything, is going to come back into 13 inches. So I've cut it out. I'll notch my center area. I'll also cut the same length with the second layer. So the third layer is going to have the same length with the second layer. But the difference is that the third layer is going to be like is 6 inches, but I added extra half an inch to it for the hemming part, because you'll be hemming the down part of it, both the up and the down part of this third layer of the sleeve. As you can see, the third one is bigger. Here is number 1, you mark number 2, label it, and the third one is number 3 to avoid mistake. You can see the third one is bigger than all of it because of the hemming part. So guys, I've done gathering this first sleeve. You can see that I joined the upper one and the second one together, then use the third one on top of the second one and stitch it on top. Here is what I did. After gathering the second layer, you gather the up and also gather the down part. After that, you pin it up on the first sleeve and join, as you can see the way I did the first one. So you join it together with the first layer of the sleeve. Then after that, you might have gathered the third one, like as you can see here. You gather the center part, then take it and place on top of the second layer as you see me doing. I'm not done gathering it as you see me doing, then you stitch it on top and it's okay. So here I have joined the zipper for the dress, and I've also joined the down part of this garden. This is the front, and I've also insert our cape. Let me call it cape. I've inserted one side of the cape. So what I did on this cape is that I measured the neck circumference of the neck, the circumference of this neck. Just make sure you measure your neckline, the circumference that you cut out, adding about 2 inches allowance for this. So this is how you are going to cut it out. When you fold your fabric into two, then the length is going to be like, if your neck or circumference is 24, you divide it by 2, making 12. Half part is going to be 12 and the other half part is going to be 12. Then you add extra about 4 inches allowance for this. Yes, or 3 inches allowance for this, for the length. So it's going to be bigger because that is what you'll be measuring. Then the length is going to be 3.5 plus 1 inch for the stitching is going to be 4 inches. So this is what I measured out. So it's going to be 4.5 inches, and I'll cut it out. Then you're going to fold it like so. I'll be using the fabric as the lining, but if you're using a light material for it, make sure you add it a hard stay. So I'll be folding it up like so, folding up it like so. Okay, so remember the opening side is what we are going to be placing our measurements. This is the opening side, yes. Then on this down part, you will go in by 2 inches or 2.5 inches, depending on how you add your allowance. Then you slightly connect it upwards or downward. Any of your choices is good. Okay, then after that you cut it out. That is just to give it that pointy look on the front of the cape. If you open it up, it's going to be looking like this. Then after turning it up, I'll be using the lining as the fabric as the lining to turn it up. So I'm going to be turning it up. Then after that, I'll come back and show us. This is how I am going to place it to stitch on the side and the down part, leaving the upper side. Okay, so here is how you are going to be turning it up. You will bring your cape and insert it from the inside, like insert it from the inside, not the outside. Okay, when you place it from the inside, then you stitch like the right side of this cape facing the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure you use the fabric you are using to sew as your lining, so that you place the right side of the fabric on the wrong side of the neck of this fabric. Stitch it and turn it up. Then after stitching, this is how it's going to look like. You can see how beautiful it's looking. So beautiful. This is the slanty area, and you can see where our stitching came out. So you will top stitch it. Okay, top stitch it so that it will relax. Your neckline is going to relax. So I'm going to insert the sleeve. Everything is ready, guys. This is the end result of our tutorial. Please, if you love this, like and share. If you have any question, you can drop it on the comment section. Thank you, guys. Always remember to subscribe.